Good morning, everybody. Rename myself here. How are y'all doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It feels like no time has passed since our last masterclass, which I know was in like April, but here we are again. And here is Samantha. Okay, great. Does anybody want to volunteer to do their sound check first?
I'll do it first.
Great.
Am I just starting right now? Or?
Yeah, whenever you're ready. We can get these over with, and then y'all can turn off your cameras, get your water, do whatever you need.
To play the track? Like, how do you want this to, like, what am I just singing with the track right now? Like,
yeah, just go ahead, start sing maybe the first line with your track so we can see if the volume and everything is good to go.
Oh, mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, stay and hear your true love's coming, that can sing both high and low.
Perfect. I think both of those levels are great.
Awesome.
Thank you. Who's next? Jackie.
Yes, my Wi-Fi was being spotty like as soon as you started talking, so hopefully it'll not do that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go now and see if it works.
Okay.
Awesome. Sorry, it disconnected from my speaker. Sorry. Okay. If somebody else wants to go while I get this figured out really quick.
Samantha.
Okay. Yeah, I can go. Can y'all hear me okay with this microphone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay. Du meine Seele, du mein Herz, du meine Wonne, du mein Schmerz, du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, mein Himmel, du, darin ich schwebe.
Pause for a moment. You are topping out a little bit.
Okay.
So I think was that turning the gain down?
Here, let me turn the volume down on my microphone.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. Let me try standing farther away too and see if that helps at all. Was the accompaniment okay? Could you hear it?
Yes, I could hear the accompaniment.
Okay, great. Du meine Seele, du mein Herz, du meine Wonne, du mein Schmerz.
Okay. It's doing it. I think so let's actually turn the accompaniment down a tiny bit. And then I think the volume needs to go on your microphone needs to go down a little bit more. It was less distorted.
On Zoom. My volume is at half. Is that oh yeah, my microphone level is almost like at full bar on Zoom here. I'll turn it down to like halfway. Let's see if that helped. I just did it on Zoom, so.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, make sure it's saved. Okay. Let's try again. Du meine Seele, du mein Herz, du meine Wonne, du mein Schmerz, du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, mein Himmel, du, darin ich schwebe, du mein Grab.
I think that sounds great. If you could just either move yourself or turn your camera so you're in the center
Oh,
of
yeah.
the screen because you're kind of
It looks
over to
weird
one
right
side.
now because so for some reason, whenever I use this camera with Zoom, it looks really weird on my end. I don't know why it does. I'm not really sure how to fix it either. So, because if I move it, like, this is center, but then I end up being like really far away and weird. I don't know. Is that better?
That's a little bit better. If you could like split the difference between the door and the wall,
I know, yeah,
like stand in front of that light switch is really like center for us.
is that better?
Yeah, see the light switch behind you?
Oh, yeah.
Stand in front of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the middle of the screen for us.
I'm like halfway cut off when I see it myself.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah. I'll have to probably get a new camera, but thank you.
Okay, I had a question.
Yeah.
So like since there's like 4 people this time, like are the times going to be cut a little bit shorter for each person, or how's it going to work?
No, everyone's still going to get 20 minutes just because we had to do this switch so quickly. So it'll just be a slightly longer class today, but we're not doing that extra. I guess y'all never did that last year, but usually when we're in person, there's also like an hour-long class following the master class, and we're just not doing that this time. So it'll just be slightly longer, but I'll probably shorten the Q&A time a little bit so we're not like here all day. Okay, you ready, Jackie?
Yes. Okay. Marito io vorrei, ma senza fatica. Ma senza fatica. And then I'll go to like a part that I have higher notes. Averlo, sei comodo, lasciarlo, s'entrica, che aspetti degli anni, che sole le mani si baciar. Sorry, yeah.
So you were maxing out like a tiny bit.
Okay.
If so, maybe just like bump the volume down like a few notches. It was just like when you were at your highest, it was maxing out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Could I just sing a cappella? Would that be okay? Or should I? Okay. Marito io vorrei, ma senza fatica, averlo, sei comodo. Is that better? Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Victoria, whenever you are ready.
Okay. Let's see. Di donde vedi suo amore, pensi a te donde, pensi a te donde. Is that
I think that's good.
okay?
Is that plant real? That's
No,
like,
they're fake vines.
okay.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Okay.
Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes before everybody else comes in. Y'all know the drill. Get your water, do your 5-minute meditation, whatever you need to do before the rest of the class comes in. And I will put the order in the chat today, but we're gonna go Jackie, Nicholas, Victoria, Samantha, but I'll just write that down so you can see it too.
Thank you.
Good morning to everyone who is joining us now. Oh, so many people in the waiting room. Hello, hello. Okay, we have almost everybody here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh, it's everybody here right at 10:15. Y'all, I'm so proud of all of you. How's everyone doing this morning? Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. Yeah, good. I'm seeing some thumbs up. That is all good. I'm sitting here with 3 coffee cups next to my computer because I guess that's what working from home is like. I've got a squirrel, I've got a UT, and I've got a Queen Elizabeth. Does anybody else like collect drinks at their workstations? Yeah. Oh, we've got a Daisy mug. Very nice. Okay, while we're all gathered here, I just wanted to let you know, I think when Mrs. Magajon will join in at the end, she had to take her kids to choir this morning, and her husband is in the Carmen chorus rehearsals right now, so they're very, very musical. I just, y'all, I just said busy and musical as the same word, so that shows you how much sleep I got last night. They're a very busy musical family, so she will join us later on this morning. We really wish we could have had this masterclass in person. We had our room all booked and everything, but Houston Grand Opera is currently in surge protocols for the Delta variant. So unfortunately, we were asked to move this virtually, but we are hoping that October will be a different story. And like I said in an email, I think there's a lot of you who are doing like the Schmidt vocal competition, and there's a couple of different things that are happening on October 2nd, which is when our class was originally scheduled. So we are looking at October 9th or 10th as a potential reschedule date. So that's the next weekend. But we have to wait and see what rehearsal rooms will be available to us, because that is right in the thick of Carmen rehearsals at HGO. So we've got, you know, chorus all over the building. We've got principals all over the building at that point. So we'll just have to wait and see. But speaking of Carmen, we just got the tentative okay to bring y'all to the Carmen Orchestra dress rehearsal. So it's tentative, so we might have to, again, last minute, not do that. But if it actually goes forward, so let's all like put those vibes into the air that like we will be able to see fully staged Carmen at the Wortham in a month or so. That will be on October 19th, which I believe is a Tuesday night, and that's at, I think, 7:30 p.m. It's totally free for y'all to attend, and I think you'll get to bring a guest with you, but that's also very tentative. But once I get all those details, I will let you know. But it's just like seeing, for those of you who haven't joined us for an opera club performance or who haven't gone and seen shows with us in the past, it's just like seeing a normal like show at the opera. It's fully staged. They do the pre-show announcement. There's just like, you just see the table where like the director is sitting and taking notes. And this show might stop. I think did they have to stop the show during Aida? I feel like there was one that we saw where there's like some huge set piece where they had to like redo it, but that might've been a tech rehearsal I was in. So anyway, write down October 19th. I'll also send that to you in an email. And pray to the opera gods that we actually get to see it, because I think it'll be a really cool production. And actually the poster for the production features Ana Maria Martinez, who's our master teacher for today, and Mrs. Maga Jones standing behind her with like a wig with her hairs out like this. So that's fun. Neither of them will be in this production. It'll be completely different people, but yeah, so fingers crossed that we get to do that. So we are just waiting a couple more minutes. I think Ms. Martinez will join us in about 5 minutes or so. And we'll get to talk with her for like 2 minutes, and then we're going to go live on YouTube. We're going to live stream this onto YouTube, and I will go over all of the, you know, when you turn your camera on, when you turn your camera off. For those of you who are not singing, you'll basically just be hanging out in the room with us until it's time for the Q&A. So it's like you're getting your own little like private Zoom screening of this masterclass, which is fun. Does anybody have any, before I'll go over like all the technical stuff in a couple minutes when Ana Maria is in the room, but does anybody have any questions about maybe what the rest of the fall is going to look like, what doing a in-person masterclass is like? Yes, Samantha.
So if master classes go in person, well, when we sing, are we gonna wear masks, or we have to wear a singer's mask, or like how does that gonna work?
That's a really good question, and the answer is it depends.
Okay.
If we were to do this in person, they recommended that everybody wear masks at all times. Hopefully, when we get into the spring and our protocols are relaxed a little bit, you'll be able to take your mask off when you are singing, and then just keep it on for the rest of the time. And also we'll be in a rehearsal room, and y'all know, so those of you who have been to a master class or an opera club meeting before, they're huge. So we can be super far apart from each other. And HGO got a whole new like HVAC system during Harvey. So we actually have a really like state-of-the-art like air turnover in the building, which is a really boring fun fact, but we've got that. Yes, Jackie.
Yes, that reminds me. Would we need to be tested before each masterclass like we did for other things?
I don't think so, because everybody who has to be in the building is fully vaccinated, and y'all are all vaccinated, and so are all of our accompanists, all of the staff members. So I don't think so. I think unless there's unless the protocols change, maybe, but I don't think so. I've been in the building pretty much every day for the past 4 weeks or so. I mean, every week for the past 4 weeks or so, and I've never needed to get tested for anything. So, but I do have to wear a mask all the time.
If we get to go to a dress rehearsal, what all do we do there?
It's just like attending a performance. So we show up at probably like 7 o'clock. I'll meet y'all somewhere with your tickets. And then we just go and see the show. A lot of not last year, but the year before last, usually y'all see the show, you see the dress rehearsal with Opera Club, and you attend an Opera Club meeting beforehand, which is like 45 minutes where we gather in a rehearsal room and we do an activity or we talk to somebody involved with the show. And then we all go down together. So typically it's been a group of like 50 people. So it's y'all plus a bunch of other high school students from across the city. But this year we are, at least this semester, I guess, we're not doing in-person Opera Club meetings. So it would just be the 9 of y'all plus maybe a parent or a friend if we were allowed to bring one, but that's still up in the air. And we just go watch the show. We have tickets, assigned seats. Usually we get pretty good seats.
Okay, thank you.
It's just a performance. It's not, I mean, not everybody's like as fancy dressed up as they would be, I think, because it's just a dress rehearsal, but. Did I see another hand waving? No, okay. And Lindsay, that reminds me, I got your email about needing a accompaniment track. I saw it this morning and I'm saying it out loud, so I remember to forward it to the pianist on Monday. Okay, well, while we're waiting on Ana Maria, if anybody needs to go run to the restroom, grab a cup of water, anything, we've got a couple minutes before we all need to be back in the room. So we want to take like a 2-minute run and grab everything you need. Go ahead and do that now.
Do you think, what do you think we should ask her? Like, might have a few things in mind, but not exactly sure.
Really, you can ask her whatever you want. You could ask her about training. She went to the Juilliard School and she was a part of the HGO studio program. So she's got a lot of really solid training experience. You could ask her about what it's like to be to work internationally, because she's done a lot of international work, and that's what most opera singers sing all over the world. So that's good. If you have any questions about technique, she'll be happy to share that as well. She's a really, we've had Ana Maria as our master teacher for our first masterclass, I think 3 years in a row. So she is a really good resource, and she's very familiar with this program and what everybody else does in this program. And she's really nice. She's very fancy, but she's not intimidating at all.
I feel like I have something else to say. I can't remember the question though.
It's okay.
We're just gonna
I'll be here the whole time if you need to ask me in the chat. Okay, my friends, our master teacher is in the room with us. Oh, actually, she was here and then, oh, here she is. Okay, so if you could all pop your cameras on and say hello to her. Good morning, Ana Maria. How are you?
Good morning. Great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to use a microphone here. First time I'm doing that. Okay. Good morning, everybody. How's everyone? Thumbs up. That's great. Absolutely. I'm excited about hearing you and working together. That's going to be a lot of fun.
So I'm so excited for you to hear all of them. So Elisa is picking her children up from boy choir as we speak. So I'm the host for this morning's meeting.
Yes, that's beautiful. Wonderful.
And I'm just going to go over a little bit of what kind of our technical, when we turn our cameras on, when we turn them off, rules are for this morning. And then we're going to go ahead and go live on YouTube.
Can I ask for just a moment of your indulgence, please? I have my glasses in the other room. May I step out for just a second and get them?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown of how this class is going to go. Once we go live on YouTube, I'm going to ask that everybody, oh, here's Miss Johnny. I'm going to ask that everybody turn their cameras off except for me, and I will give a brief introduction to Ms. Martinez, and then Ana Maria, once I ask you to, I'll have you turn your camera back on and say, you know, anything that you want to say to the students before they get started. Once Ana Maria finishes her little introduction, I'm going to ask Jackie to turn your camera on. You'll introduce yourself, you'll give the name of your piece, and then you'll go right into your song. And then once you're finished, you and Ana Maria will have about 20 minutes to go over anything that Ana Maria wants to go over with you. And then once that 20 minutes is up, Jackie, you'll turn your camera off, and then Nicholas, you'll turn your camera right on. I'm not going to come in between and introduce you. Our order this morning is Jackie, Nicholas, Victoria, and then Samantha. Once Samantha has completed her piece, I'll pop, either me or Mrs. Magajon will pop on and ask everybody to turn their cameras on, and we're going to do a really quick Q&A session with Ms. Martinez, and then we'll go offline, we'll say goodbye to Ms. Martinez, and then we'll do just any brief announcements. I did most of them this morning, so we probably won't have to stay that long afterwards. Does anybody have any questions before? Yes.
Thanks, Kathleen. What is the formal name for the master class?
This is the Bauer Family High School Voice Studio.
Okay.
And it's our first master class of the season.
Wow, how fun. Now, have you all had a chance to meet in person this season or no? Okay. All right. Well, I am thrilled to be here. Anyway, I'll say that for later, but I am excited.
We are thrilled to have you. Okay. Everybody, let's all turn our cameras off, and we're going to do the live stream, and we'll get this class started. Okay, good morning, everybody. We are so excited to welcome you to our very first High School Voice Studio Masterclass of the 2021-2022 season here at Houston Grand Opera. My name is Kathleen Brown. I'm the Interim Education Manager here at HGOCO, and we have 4 High School Voice Studio students who are going to perform with us this morning. And before I welcome them on screen, I'm going to welcome our master teacher, Ms. Ana Maria Martinez. Ana Maria is a Grammy Award-winning soprano, and she serves as Houston Grand Opera's first ever artistic advisor. And she has been an artist in residence at Rice's Shepherd School of Music for the past 2 years. She is an alumna of the HGO studio and a graduate of the Juilliard School. And just to let you know a little bit about her career, if you don't know already, Ms. Martinez was the inaugural recipient of the Pepita and Bill Prize of Zarzuela at the 1995 Operalia. And she has been honored to share the stage with Placido Domingo in prestigious locations, including the White House, the HSBC Arena in Rio de Janeiro and for the World Cup celebration, and the inaugural performance at the Dubai Opera House. She performs frequently at Houston Grand Opera, Lyric Opera of Chicago, Washington National Opera, Santa Fe Opera, Opera de Puerto Rico, just to name a few. Internationally, she has sung with the Glyndebourne Festival, the Royal Opera House, and the Netherlands Opera. And in addition to many other opera houses around the world. And we don't have time to go into all of her numerous concerts, her recordings, and the other awards that she has won. She simply has too many to name. So everybody, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to our master teacher for today, Ana Maria Martinez.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Kathleen. I'm very happy to be here with all of you to hear your beautiful voices and to be the master teacher today for the first of our Family Voice Studio Masterclass of the season. Thank you, Kathleen, for mentioning those things. When I hear the list, I just think, oh dear, but keep in mind, my fellow singers today, that I'm here to serve you. I am here as your teacher, and from your perspective, the experiences that I have had only place me in a position to have more knowledge to share with you. So please see it that way. And I am very happy to get started. We have some very beautiful singers with us today, and our first one is Jacquie. Is Jacquie ready? Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Jacquie.
All
How
right.
are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm happy to see you and to hear you. Do you want to tell us what you'd like to sing?
Yes, I'm Jacquie Hickman, and I'm going to be singing Marito io vorrei by Mozart.
Marito io vorrei, ma senza fatica, ma senza fatica. Averlo si comoda, lasciarlo s'intriga, che aspetti degli anni, che soli le mani li basti baciar. Marito io vorrei, ma senza fatica, averlo si comoda, lasciarlo s'intriga, che aspetti degli anni, che soli le mani li basti baciar. Insomma, io desidero un uomo d'ingegno, ma fatto di legno, che dove lo metto la sabbia resta, che dove lo metto la sabbia resta, che dove lo metto la sabbia resta, la sabbia resta, la sabbia restar. Marito io vorrei, ma senza fatica, ma senza fatica. Averlo si comoda, lasciarlo s'intriga, che aspetti degli anni, che soli le mani li basti baciar. Marito io vorrei, ma senza fatica, che aspetti degli anni, che soli le mani li basti baciar. Insomma, io desidero un uomo d'ingegno, ma fatto di legno, che dove lo metto, che dove lo metto, che dove lo metto la sabbia resta, che dove lo metto la sabbia resta, che dove
Brava, Jackie. That is
Thank you.
great. Beautiful. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. You know, the first thing I want to say that I love and I'm so impressed, your double consonants in Italian.
Thank you.
That's not easy. Unless you're a fluent speaker. Do you speak Italian?
No, no. I just worked a lot on the double consonants.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. There's one thing that I like to say about the double consonants in
Mhm.
Italian. It's as though we're embracing them. So
Mhm.
for someone who doesn't speak Italian, let's say that the person, the singer, is a native English speaker, sometimes, and you did not do this, but people will stop the sound or the aliveness of the note and of the music when they're doing the double consonant, and you kept it very much alive. Like
Okay.
just keep imagining that it's an embrace, which keeps that movement going with the double consonant, like insomma, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Right? That you did so beautifully. So a couple of things I wanted to point out. The piece, the aria is perfect for you.
Thank you.
Definitely
Awesome.
great for you. And as you went on, I felt that there was much more of an anchor to your sound. Part of that is warming up, right? And feeling
Mhm.
comfortable. And I just wanted to give you just a few tips. On page 37,
Mhm.
that's where you start. So around measure 33 and beyond, that's when you start to spend more time on the passaggio, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So most of the people in our group, actually, I think I might have something to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Most of our group here knows what passaggio is. It's well, literally it means passage, but it is the equivalent. Pardon that I'm unwrapping this. Well, I want to show you an hourglass. That's the example I like to give. That the passaggio. Okay, so here you've got the hourglass, right? So I would say that the bottom register of your voice is going to bloom in this direction, of course, and the top will bloom here. And so you've got the neck of
Mhm.
the hourglass. And if you see how the sand, I don't know if you can see that, it passes so
Mhm.
slowly, so gently, right? So you can't shove things into the passaggio. And the equivalent of that vocally would be to give too much heft, because then it's going to make the bloom on the top feel a little harder, or the bloom on the bottom feel more challenging, and it can make us feel very tight vocally. So you
Mhm.
want to keep that very, very, very thin and lean, just like the sand going through that hourglass. So if you don't mind, and this would be a cappella, which means without the accompaniment, if we're going to start isolating phrases, I'd like you to start maybe the pickup of measure 34. And when you're going to, the passaggio for you is going to start probably around D, E, and then F. When you're singing those pitches, try to put the consonant on the pitch,
Oh, okay.
especially che aspetti, right?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Speaker.
It's the world of Zoom. It's okay. Um, so the other thing I wanted to point out, because then in the second system, you're going to have not a lot of these moments, but you're going to have more than one note with the same vowel sound. Whenever you find that, repeat the vowel. Just concentrate. In other words, instead of, I know that we as musicians, we're reading the music and we're paying attention to the notes, the pitches, but I'd like for you to just see it through a different lens and repeat the vowel.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be measure 40
Okay.
and also 41.
Like manili.
Yeah.
Okay.
So mahahani, mahahani, right?
I see. I see. Okay.
Mahahani. Yeah.
Okay.
And then stop when you get to, that would be measure 42,
Okay.
right before you say marito, because I want you to register what that feels like. So one
Yeah.
of the things that I like to work on as a teacher is trusting what you feel, the sensation,
Yeah.
versus what you're hearing when you're singing. Okay? And that's a big step for all
Right.
singers to take. So
Right.
if you don't mind, if you'd like, please start for the pickup of 34, measure 34. And the few things that I pointed out were to put the consonant on the pitch, especially when you're in the passaggio. So it's right up
Okay.
there. And then repeating the vowel, which you're going to find in the next system, and then just stop right before marito.
Perfect.
Okay.
And you want this to be a cappella, or do you want the track? Because I do have
Oh,
markings if you'd like.
so impressed. Okay, then do it with the track if you like, whatever you feel comfortable.
Okay, awesome. Go.
Averlo, si comoda, lascialo, s'intriga, che aspetti degli anni, che soli le mani li basti baciar.
Okay.
Is that how you mean?
Okay, well, it always sounds beautiful. It's just a matter of how you feel it. So whenever you have, for example, you've got that octave leap. Solele mani. So even there, solele. The L for all of us can tend to get very heavy, especially for native English speakers. For some reason, it's heavier than a Spanish or Italian speaker.
Yeah.
So the L, I would like you to think that it is just the tip of your tongue is right where the top teeth are. Solele. So sole. I know I just doubled it now, but it's not heavy. The L is very light.
Yeah.
But try to put it on the pitch, on those D's.
Okay.
Okay, solele mani. And if you want, just isolate that without the track, so that you can really be more focused on that.
Yeah.
So those two measures, 39 and 40. So what we're trying to do, folks, is just lighten the L, putting that consonant on the pitch, and whenever there's more than one note on the same vowel, focus on repeating the vowel versus thinking about making any adjustment because there's a change in pitch.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. Right.
Sole le mani li basti baciar.
And even char. Instead of thinking that it's a different pitch, it's the same vowel, char. And see how the direction of the airflow, where does it feel it's going?
Right. Out. Just. I think of like the stream, the stream of airflow, and that kind of helps me, or will help me, stay on the same vowel. I guess if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm imagining like a thread.
Great. And the thing is, when we repeat the vowel, we're actually speeding the airflow. It's not using more air, it's just speeding it up. And a comparison that I make is when you're on an airplane, a jet. Let's say the pilot has parked it, it's still on, but it's not going anywhere yet until they get the okay from the control tower, right? So then the engines, let's say they're on either side, they start revving up and they start speeding up, and then you start going, and I believe the speed at which they can then take off is 500 miles an hour. Okay, so then you're going, and that jet engine is just speeding up, and then you're on that tarmac, and then speed, and then you take off. So that's, for example, the idea of the speeding up of the air. Sometimes they will be very high notes, and sometimes it's getting to the passaggio without heft, but rather speeding up of the air. Tell me if it doesn't make sense, and I'll find another way of explaining it.
It makes perfect sense. Yes.
I like to work a lot with the visuals, in addition to talking about the resonators and all of the technical terms, but the imagery is very important as well. Do you want to try this again, just isolating it without the track? Let's see. Same place. Pick up to measure 34.
All right.
Averlo, se comoda, lasciarlo, s'intriga, che aspetti degli anni, che soli le mani li basti baciar.
Brava,
pick it
Jackie,
up
I
on
think
us.
you went a little higher.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, don't worry. I have my little piano app here.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No. Do you know what? You showed yourself that you're comfortable up there too. You know,
Yeah.
that happened to me
Right.
once in a competition. I went up a third in an a cappella section. Yes.
Oh no.
All right. So let's see. Se comoda. Do it with the track if you feel better.
Okay.
Pick up to 34.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to imagine those jet engines
Mm-hmm.
picking up just that airflow, especially when you're repeating the vowel, consonant on the pitch. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll do a cappella as long as I have the pitch. Yeah.
Okay. No, sorry. Se comoda. Yeah.
Awesome. Se comoda lasciarlo s'entrega che aspetti degli anni che soli le mani le basti baciar.
Brava. And then well, first tell me how that felt, and then I wanted to add another idea for you.
Good. I liked the sole. I think I just need to work more on it and like imagine the threading, but I'm beginning to. I like the hourglass a lot. I'm imagining going through it and then blooming on top.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then you won't add weight. Imagine going up 5 flights of stairs with 2 very heavy bags of potatoes. You want to empty out the potatoes if you're going to go up 5
Yeah.
flights of stairs. So that would be the equivalent of the passaggio. Just keep it light but connected. So now I wanted to address something else. And we can still focus on these same measures because they're a great exercise, they're a great tool, unless there's another area you want to look at.
This is good. This is
Okay.
good for me.
Because
Yeah.
this addresses a lot of things that you can apply.
Right.
So the anchor that I like to talk about, for me, the anchor of my voice is always this section here.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this. So let's say you lean over as if you're going to pick something up and you put your hand on your lower back or the small of your back. Yeah, your lower back. And you inhale and you imagine that that's opening up. That's a very deep breath, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we were in a studio with a piano, I'd say to lean on the piano or to lean on something where you would feel that you were leaning here.
Yeah.
If you want to put your hands here, so maybe 2.5, 3 inches below your belly button or so, right? So then you're resisting in a way. So you have your hands here and just breathe down there where you've got your hands. Do you see how low that breath is?
Yeah.
And that's where I lean, especially for long phrases, high notes, for anything. If I personally, at this stage of the game, don't feel that connected, no sound comes out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anchored in any way. So just keep that in mind. And I like to imagine that there's a belt, and that connected to that belt there is an anchor, a ship's anchor, that is underneath the ocean floor. You're standing on the ocean floor. And it tugs
Okay.
downward while you go up. So let's try this again. When you're in sole le mani, and as you're going sole, the L is going to be very light, right? The tip of your tongue, back of your front teeth, and then it's going to tug downward. This belt here will tug downward. Sole le mani. Okay? And see how that feels.
Okay. Sole mani basti baciar.
Did you feel more engaged?
I did, yes.
Yeah, more connected? That's great. That's great. It sounds beautiful from the first time you sang and now as well. These are just some tools for you to archive in the back of your mind as you work on repertoire. The hourglass for the passaggio, consonants light but always connected. And the consonants are going to be on the pitch and repeating the vowel instead of making an adjustment for the pitch.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to try any part of the aria again, implementing this? We have about 2 minutes left.
Okay. Yes, there is the B section. Let me find it here. Okay.
Insomma or no?
Yes.
Allegro.
The first one. Right.
Okay, let's pause that. Beautiful. How did that feel?
I felt better. I imagine like a line tethered to the floor, and so
Yeah.
I like being grounded, and the high notes are always hard because it's right in the tessitura. Um, so it's better to be grounded, I feel like.
Yeah, because that's right in that passaggio where you want to
Yeah.
definitely keep it free so that that sand can always pass, right? That sound
Hmm.
can always pass in either direction, up or down. And I know that we're almost out of time, but I just wanted you to try insomma. And as you're going up, you're feeling that tug downward, and that grounded feeling will be great for you, for all singers, especially when the adrenaline is flowing. We need that anchor. We need that sense of anchor, right?
Hmm.
Do you want to try? Do we have time? Just one more time for insomma,
Okay.
insomma. Yeah.
Yeah. Insomma, insomma, io desidero. Mm-hmm.
How did that
Just
feel?
that one part, or keep going?
I think we're probably out of time, but I just wanted to know from you how that felt.
Right. It did feel good. It's the ma. It always gives me trouble,
So
but
put it on the pitch. Put it on the pitch. Can you try
yeah.
that again?
Hmm.
I know it's a double consonant, but it's voiced, so that will help you. And just put it on the pitch.
Yeah. Okay. Insomma, insomma, yeah.
That's it.
That felt great.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's impeccable.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you
Brava,
so much.
brava, Jackie.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to hear you, and thank you for bringing us this beautiful Mozart aria, for your beautiful
Thank you.
singing and your open-mindedness.
I'm so happy to sing for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. All right, and next up we have.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Nicholas Mathew. I'll be singing "Oh, Mistress Mine" by Roger Quilter.
Great.
Oh, mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, stay and hear your true love's coming, that can sing both high and low. Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journeys ending, lovers meeting, every wise man's son doth know. What is love is not hereafter, present mirth hath present laughter. What's to come is still unsure, in delay there lies no plenty. Then come kiss me sweet and 20, youth's a stuff will not endure, not endure. Mistress mine, where are you roaming?
All right.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nicholas.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful piece. What's your favorite part of this piece?
My favorite part, I guess probably the last one, the very slow thing. I mean, I know it's off tempo, but like I love the last last line of that.
Yeah, I like it too. So I think you do a very beautiful sense. You have a very beautiful legato, and it's hard to do. I find it's hard to do in English, actually, more than in the other languages that
Oh
we
yeah,
tend
really,
to
yeah.
see in. Really hard. And also it's hard, and you do it beautifully when there's so much text,
Oh yeah. Because
you
it goes
know?
a little bit faster, so.
Yeah. So I would like for you to think, do you have a music stand where you are right
I
now?
don't have
Or anything, even a chair with a high back?
chair with a high back. I think I do. Yes.
Do you mind getting it? Because I'm going to ask you to lean on it. so that it
Okay.
would be around where your waist is.
Okay, you can't really. You're not. I don't know if you could see it, but like it's
As
there.
long as I'll show you the one I have here. So
Okay.
the one I have has a very high back. And what I tend to do, that might be a little high. There's no way that you could tilt that.
There's. I don't know how you can see it because actually, you want me to put it on a lower surface? Is that what you want me to do?
Oh, I don't need to see, as long as you can do this.
Oh, okay, got you.
Right? Okay, so I'm just showing you what I would like for you to do with
Okay.
that. If it's, so that it's not up here, right?
Oh yeah, it's not there.
Okay, so that it's here, and you can lean into it, right? Now, I definitely don't want you to sing, looking to the side.
Okay.
It's not gonna feel very comfortable. But if you're here, right, good, thank you. And you're leaning into it, take a few deep breaths. And you're really breathing into the area that you're leaning on,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Now, do you feel that inhale is lower than where you have been breathing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I used to, early days in my career, just focus on the rib cage. And I
Yeah.
found that in order to support the sound that I wanted to make, I had to support and anchor lower. So with Jackie, I shared the image of a belt. So that's what you're leaning into, just the sensation of something around your core, the core of your body.
Yeah.
And that there is a tugging because there is a ship's anchor that is also attached to you.
Yeah.
And that's going to tug downward. So as the line goes up, you're definitely leaning and breathing into where you're leaning. And as the line goes up, it tugs downward.
Okay.
And it continues to tug. It's not just one tug. From the moment you start, it's a very, very steady, continuous tug until the end of the phrase. And then you inhale again, and then it tugs down. And it should give you a sense of easy flow.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
continue to support the legato you already have so beautifully. Would you like to try that? And
Yes.
leaning into.
So am I leaning into the whole time, the chair?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
got it.
every time you breathe, you're breathing into that area where you're leaning. Now, before you start, when you're breathing into the area of the chair that you're leaning, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that as you inhale and that area fills up, that your body somewhat pushes away from the chair?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, right. Because you're not, I don't want to have you think that you're doing, or gripping something with that lower part. It's just an awareness. You don't have to do anything extra. It's just the awareness of, oh, okay, that's engaged.
Okay.
That makes sense?
It does. But for me, like engaging the lower part when I'm singing is like really hard for me. So I think this is good.
Oh, Nicholas, it's tough for everybody. Trust me. Yeah.
No, but you do it so easily. So.
Well, I've been doing it for years.
Okay.
And I'm constantly aware of it. But like I said earlier, if I don't do that at my age, barely any sound will come out. At your age, it still will. But you need to get this, it's a work in progress. We all are a work in progress. Okay. Take
Okay.
it away, Nicholas.
All right. With the track.
As you like.
Okay.
O mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, stay and hear your true love's coming, that can sing both high and low. Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journeys ending, lovers meeting, every wise man's son doth know.
You want to stop there?
Oh yeah.
Did you feel any difference?
It was so much easier, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Very like easy.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying like the way I did it before, it was like I had to think about it. It was very tense. This way, I feel like it was very easy flowing for me.
Great. That's great to hear. And again, it takes a while because anything is to have muscle memory, repetition. But I think it's one of the most useful tools that I have found in my singing experience, especially live. And if you had a chance to hear some of the things that Jackie was mentioning, she felt more grounded, more rooted, right? So that's what we need, because when I like to address the reality that when we're nervous, the breath gets higher and we don't feel settled. We might feel tense. And I want to give you the tools that will allow you to lean eventually into the floor. So when you're leaning on the chair, or if you are around a grand piano, you will lean onto that piano. And eventually, after all of that repetition, it will become much more natural. You might still get nervous. You might still feel that the breath wants to go higher, but that anchor will be your go-to. And at least you will think in terms of tool, in terms of action, which will distract you from nerves. Does that make
All right.
sense?
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Tools are very important.
Yes.
I wanted to try something. Do you feel comfortable if we isolate some things without the track?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so, and I have my little piano app on my
Okay.
phone if you need a pitch. So if you go from, it's on the first page, third measure, where you have Trip No Further,
Okay.
Pretty Sweeting, and then Journey's End in Lover's Meeting. I want you to try that, and when you get to end, I want you to Trip No Further, Pretty Sweeting, Journey's End. So you're going to do it twice, and it's going to be staccato. So it's pam pam. So not legato, and
So
sustain.
when I'm singing, I'm saying Trip No Further, Pretty Sweeting, Journeys,
And just repeat that vowel, and hold a note, and then just stop, and we'll go back to that
Gotcha.
with the leaning and the staccato.
Okay. But just on ending though, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Do you need a?
Oh, I think I got it.
Okay.
Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journey's end.
How did that feel?
Oh wow, I didn't know I could do that. That felt pretty good. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Because in that moment, from my perspective, you were anchored, and I could hear the overtones on that pitch.
Oh yeah.
Right? Wonderful, beautifully done. So do you want to go back and sing it without the staccato, without repeating it and continuing it?
Yeah. Am I doing the whole thing or?
The Trip No Further, the phrase
Okay.
you just, and then go to doth know. So to the
Okay.
end of that page. So.
Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journey's ending, lovers meeting, every wise man's son doth know.
And then doth know. Repeat the vowel, and every time you have a descending line, even if it's just 2 pitches or if it's a whole run, you're going to imagine a tray, a silver tray right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, wise men's son doth know. Right in front of you, and you're repeating the vowel so that there's no.
Oh yeah. Keep it consistent.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to start from Trip No Further again?
Please. Thank you.
Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journey's ending, lovers meeting, every wise man's son doth know.
Beautiful. How did that feel?
Wow, yeah, good, like really good. I liked
Fantastic.
it.
Fantastic. It's really, my motto is trust the sensation, not what you hear.
Yeah.
And I know that's tough, but the thing is that we, especially in the young stages of a singer's life, we're constantly listening because we're aiming for perfection.
Mhm.
And I would say that the fact that we're aiming for perfection is very noble because we truly want to transport the listener.
Mhm.
And we also get to enjoy the experience. But rather than think that we can attain perfection. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And rather than perfection, I would say the continued commitment. Each and every note, each and every second, each breath, each anchor is that honest commitment. That to me is human perfection.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, great. Do you want to do verse 2 and see what goodies we find there to work on?
Yeah, I'll try to do the same thing.
Great.
Okay, so where am I starting? Like, what is love?
Sure. So that
Okay.
is.
And where do you want me to end for that one?
Sure. On the word sure.
Uh,
So that would be the third system. It's your half note.
okay. Okay. Oh, okay, got you, okay.
Yeah.
What is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Present mirth hath present laughter. What's to come is still unsure.
Okay, bravo. So I would say, what is love? And here we're revisiting the L. So the L, try to make it even lighter than you did. So the tip of your tongue is going to be right behind your front teeth. La. So it's almost nothing. So instead of love, I might be exaggerating, but that L is going to add weight. So try to put the L on that E flat.
Okay.
What is love? Love, 'tis not hereafter. And then present, Z, that Z. I know it's an S, but here we pronounce it Z, right? The present, and that's a voiced consonant, which helps us. Put that on the pitch as well. Present mirth. So stop at laughter. So we're going to put the L very light, the tip of the tongue behind the top teeth, on the pitch. That's what you're doing with the L. And then not hereafter is going to be the tray in front of you. Present, the Z is going to be on the pitch. And then have present laughter.
Got you.
Okay?
Yep.
What is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Present mirth hath present laughter.
How did that feel?
Pretty good, yeah.
So these are very, very small modifications, but they give you tremendous result.
Yeah, of course.
And it
Yeah,
shifts
that
your
helped me a lot. Like, I didn't expect it. Like, I was like, whoa, just changed everything.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Great. So those are tools that you can apply not only to this beautiful piece, but to anything that you're working on.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Shall we continue for the rest of the song?
Oh, yeah, we can continue, yes.
Yeah.
What's to... Okay.
What's to come is still unsure. In delay there lies no plenty. Then come kiss me, sweet and 20. Youth's a stuff will not endure, not endure.
I don't know if you want me to sing the
Let's
last line.
stop there for a second.
Yeah.
So what's to come? It's interesting. When you got to in delay, you anticipated the N, and then the combination of ND kind of stopped the vibration of the vowel.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to absolutely respect the consonants. We need them. So otherwise we can't understand what the words are, right? But they're alive. They are as alive and supported as the vowels are. So why don't you hang out for a second or two on in delay? So it would be in delay.
There's no stop. That's basically what you're saying. There's no stop.
No, because that's actually interesting. I know it's shifting the perspective, shifting the lens, but it's not the same in Italian. You've got the double consonants all the time, right? But here we could call this a consonant cluster, right? So you've got the N and the D. That's a double consonant. Keep it alive. So it's not just in Italian that we embrace those double consonants. In any language where we have a double consonant, we have to, I always just say embrace it. And as I'm doing this, the arms continue to move. There's continued motion, so the continued vibration, even on non-voiced consonants. It's a mental thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So hold a sound, not hold, sorry. What I meant was stay on that pitch on in delay, but just keep repeating the vowel. Hold on. In delay there, right?
In delay there.
How did that feel?
Good. Yeah, because I wasn't sure. Like that was actually just my fault. I wasn't sure what to do there. Like I just did it for some reason. I just stuck with it. Like ever since I started learning the song. So
Okay.
that's the reason why.
So if you do in delay, we might not even understand what the word is, but in delay there lies no plenty. And then there comes kiss. The k is going to be on the pitch.
I had a question for that one. Like because like I sort of want to connect it with love, where you don't put the consonant too much, so you get to the vowel faster. Did you want to do it for this? Like for a kiss, I wasn't sure whether to put the K because it would have too much consonant. Like I wasn't sure.
Don't worry about that, because when you're on stage and you're live, we actually need a lot of consonant presence so we can decipher what the word is. But just put the k, that K sound on the pitch, on that E flat.
Okay.
And I think we're going to have time to get to endure. No, but you need to finish it because the last one is your favorite line. In delay, all right? The K is going to be on the pitch. And every time you have a descending line, it's a tray in front of you. Okay.
In delay there lies no plenty. Then come kiss me sweet and 20. Youth's stuff will not endure, not endure.
Mistress.
Oh, that one. Yeah, of course.
The M on the pitch.
Mistress mine, where are you roaming?
Beautiful, Nicholas.
Thank you.
Beautiful. It was always beautiful. It just sounds so much more anchored and free and easy.
Yeah, definitely.
And that way, with the anchor, all of you will learn how to play more with dynamics.
Yeah, that helped me so much.
Shading the words. Yeah.
Definitely.
Bravo. Thank you, Nicholas.
Oh wait, we're out of time?
I think we're out of time.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, thank you so much for helping me. Like,
Well, do you have a
helped me
question?
tremendously.
Did you have a question that you wanted to
Oh,
ask?
I mean, I didn't have any questions. I was surprised we're just out of time. Like, I really enjoyed this.
I believe so. I'm going to double check. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Ana Maria Martinez.
My
It was a pleasure.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Okay.
How are you, Victoria?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, let me pull up the music. All right. Do you want to tell us what you're singing?
Yes. My name is Victoria Cerda, and I'm going to be singing De Donde Venís Amore by, I think it's something with an R. I'm sorry, that's my fault.
That's
Yes.
okay. Joaquin Rodrigo. And
There you
it's
go, Joaquin.
also so that we have, I'm trying to find it. I mean, I know it. I'm just trying. There we go. Okay. So this is from Cuatro Madrigales Amatorios.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, have fun. This is a beautiful piece.
All right. De donde venís amore, Mathew, de donde, Mathew, de donde. De donde venís amore,
Oh, I love this song. Isn't it fun?
Very fun. Yes.
And you have such a beautiful, easy top.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, so that goes up to a high C, folks. Da 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 da, and then da 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 da. Awesome. Okay, Victoria. Do you have something to lean on, either a music stand or a high back chair?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind bringing it over?
Let me not make a bunch of chairs.
Okay. Great posters too. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So when you're leaning on it, is it, when I was working with Nicholas, it's this. So here.
Mhm.
So is it something that will reach you there?
Yeah. It's just like dark, so you can't.
Okay. So as long as you're leaning.
Mhm.
So take a deep breath and lean into that. It's a chair, right?
Mhm.
Okay, great. So lean into that chair back.
Mhm.
Do you feel how your body just naturally kind of pushes back a little bit?
Yes.
So that is the muscle engagement.
Mhm.
That's your anchor, that's your core, right? We know that as a core, whether you're going to try yoga or Pilates or just that core of your body is here. And this is your anchor. I always say this is your source of energy. I know that the vocal cords are here, obviously. We've got our resonators, all of that good stuff. But this is our source of energy.
Mhm.
So I want you to try, hold on. Let me turn on my little piano app. Try staccato as well. And repeat the vowel. And you're going to feel the O. If you place your tongue on your hard palate, you know where that bone starts?
Mhm.
So it's not in the center of that bone on your hard palate, but with your tongue you can feel where that bone starts. So you're going to have this sense of shape up there on your palate, which it normally has, okay? That's its natural shape. And just repeat the vowel.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah. Okay. How did that feel?
Good. Yeah. It didn't feel bad. Just yeah.
Did you feel, so I'm trying to see if you can feel more anchored in the area where you're leaning. So imagine that the sound is actually coming from where you're leaning. In addition to your cheekbones, which are part of your nasal resonance. And I use that term a lot when I teach. It's not putting it in the nose, it's the nasal resonance. So you're aware of the nasal resonance here, and the sound is coming from where you're leaning. Let's just try and put the D on the pitch.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay.
It was,
Am I doing it right?
it was so much more resonant that you blocked out the mic.
Oh my. Oops.
Oh, that's awesome. Try it again. Try it again. Yeah, it's blocking out the mic, but I think that means there are more overtones. That's what usually happens.
It feels good, so
That's the
Who's that?
important thing. That's the important thing. Okay. Try to put the B on the pitch, and that's an F for people who don't have the music in front of them. So that's the top of the staff. So let's continue with this. Breathing, leaning into the chair, and then put the pie, b on the pitch. Piense yo de donde, and then do, repeat the vowel. You know how I've been talking this morning about when you have more than one pitch on the same vowel, instead of thinking the different pitch, repeat the vowel. And then pay attention to what that feels like, because it will feel different in a good way, in an easier way.
Okay.
Okay.
So I just do
You
it.
can do de do and put the D the D on the pitch, donde venís amore, and then the B and that bien on the pitch, bien sé yo de donde. Repeat the vowel on donde.
Okay.
venís amore, penseo de donde, penseo de donde.
How did that feel?
Good.
That already feels more anchored. Right? Because if we don't have the anchor, sometimes we feel that the air and the support is just a little fluttery, right? But that anchor, if you like water, that's when I use the ship's anchor. If you're more of an earth person, I say a 200-year-old oak with the roots so embedded there, and that's what you're leaning into. So it should empower you.
Okay.
Okay? So did that feel better?
Yes, it did.
All right, so let's continue then. Let's see if that's the right page. De donde venís, piense yo. And just repeat the vowels on, I mean, it's already beautiful, but it's just to see if it feels any easier.
Okay.
Okay?
De donde venís amore, penseo.
How did that feel?
Good. Yes. I felt
Yeah.
I can feel a lot here.
Great, great. And if it doesn't, don't worry, you can say and we can find a different way to approach it.
No, it's working. Yeah. Does it
Great.
sound like it's working?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece for you too. So let's try. Now I'm going to ask you to try something else. Try to do bien sé yo de donde instead of ha, 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 ha. Want to try that?
Okay.
But you're going to have to put those consonants on the pitch.
Okay.
So bien sé yo de donde. So the consonants are very, very lightly touched while you're leaning. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So let me get the pitches for you. Hold on. So no. Bien sé yo.
Okay. Do I do it like up the octave, or do I do it?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh my. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay. No, but this is good because you're going to encounter this in different areas. So the neck muscles do not get involved.
Okay.
If they do, that means you need to lean more. You need to anchor more.
Okay.
Because the neck muscles, the tongue with any tension, and the lower jaw are always going to be overly helpful. It's kind of like the neighbor that tries too hard to be helpful and then ends up being a little intrusive.
Yeah.
So that's these muscles, the lower jaw and the tongue. And what you need to do is say, no, I got this. I'm leaning, I got this. I don't need the neck involvement. I don't need the lower jaw. I don't need the tongue to tense up, which is what you're going to feel on the side here. So,
okay.
Let me try it and then I'll give you a pointer. Let's see. So donde. So you're just repeating that vowel for the high C, right? At least Juan Rodrigo was kind to not give you another consonant on the high C. So bien sé yo. Repeat the vowel. Consonant on the pitch. Bien sé yo de. Light D. De donde. Very light consonants. The tongue is very, very light on the top teeth.
Okay.
And lean. Bravissima. Yeah, absolutely. So how did that feel?
It felt good. Yeah. The first time it was like, but the leaning
The
Okay,
leaning. Okay, so many people ask, all right, so the leaning works great, but when I'm on stage, I can't lean on something. And so I say, true, you just need to repeat this so you understand it's not a blank doing it. Very aware, focusing very much on what you feel so that you can replicate that feeling when you're on stage. I eventually transfer that to the balls of my feet. So if I'm leaning on the back of my chair and I feel that lean, now, Victoria, add the sense of the balls of your feet leaning into the floor. And now this is going to take a long time, months, okay? But this is the fast forward version of what you will eventually do in order to implement this on stage. So as you're leaning, as you're talking, singing, breathing, feeling this engagement, you're also leaning on the balls of your feet. So I will lift my toes a little bit so I can really feel the ball of my foot leaning onto the floor at the same time. So what happens is that my brain is registering that the sense of lean here in my core is also transferring over to the sense of lean with the ball of my foot onto the floor. That energy of the ball of my foot into the floor is going underneath the floor, connecting with the ship's anchor or the 200-year-old oak tree and its roots, whichever image you like, earth or water. So you're leaning, 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 and then if you step away from this and you're leaning into the floor, after doing the leaning with your core, knowing what that feels like, leaning on the floor is a continuation of that. That's what you take with you to the stage. Again, it takes a while, but if you keep repeating that over and over again, I know it's going to feel like a broken record. Just trust me on that. You lean on this, take it away. Lean with the ball of your foot, toes up. Lean with the ball of your foot with your whole leg leaning into the floor. And underneath the floor is where your sound is also going. What ends up happening is that the whole space is filled with your sound and the overtones are much more engaged. Your whole body's engaged. Sometimes we think that the voice is here and here and here. It ends up being your whole body. We are athletes, so the whole body is engaged. And when everything is happening in perfect synchronicity, perfect. Let's go back to the ideal, the constant commitment of everything, all elements, the airflow, healthy muscle engagement, right? That sense of anchor when everything is happening together, and you have also that sense of nasal resonance. Sometimes for your voice type, I would emphasize the inverted cone. So if you're making an announcement, you know, you're going to have that, what is it, like a bullhorn or just something, so you've got the, you know what I mean, that cone. Mm-hmm. So here we invert it. So you've got the beak here and you've got the space back here. And for your voice type, that sound is going to go back here, open up, go over your head, and then it's going to thread right through that beak and go forward into that nasal resonance for all of those super high notes, because I'm sure you've got higher than the C.
A little.
Oh, I bet. I bet that you love to live up there. So that's one way to visualize it for your voice type. Okay?
I like that image. It's very clear.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, because those, otherwise we might feel that we're reaching this way for those notes. But if you feel that they go here, you're going to also feel cool air that's going through here, through your upper molars, your cheekbones, all of that cool air, shoops, and then comes out that way. So with all of those images and the leaning, do you want to start it from the top?
Yes. Let's see. I'm gonna add this to the chair so I can really, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do I do it with this thing?
If you like, if you like.
Okay. ¿de dónde vienes, amigo? Fui yo testigo, fui yo testigo, fui yo testigo. Pensé yo de dónde, pensé yo de dónde, de dónde.
How did that
That
feel?
was much different.
But
Sorry?
did you feel more engaged? Did you feel more anchored? And
Yes,
if you didn't, no, with the leaning, but if you didn't, that's okay. We can address it.
I sort of did. It was better when I was doing it without the thing, but I don't know. I think I lost the feeling. I wasn't paying attention on it as much.
Yeah. So, I wanted to try just the concept of repeating the vowel with the and we can isolate that. Do you mind isolating it a cappella without the accompaniment?
Oh, it's good.
So that
Yeah.
would wait. Sorry. It's such a small keyboard. Sorry. Ba-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Just repeat the vowel instead of thinking different pitches. Very easy, very, very beautiful. How did that feel?
Feels better repeating it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a salvation. Repeating of the vowel automatically speeds up the air. And again, it's not more air that you're using, you're just speeding it up. And then that's what travels. In a larger space, that's what's going to cut through the orchestra. If we don't speed up the air, I feel that all of the resonance stays about here. Let me see. I'm just okay. I think we're almost out of time.
Mhm.
Yes, just looking at the clock. But that speeding up is going to be what gives you much more resonance in a large hall. Victoria, thank you very much. This is a gorgeous piece. Have you worked on the whole cycle?
No.
Look at it. Look at it. It's so beautiful. It's 4 songs. 4 songs. Do you have any questions?
No. Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, and thank you for sharing your beautiful voice with us.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. And then we have Samantha.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, my name is Samantha, and today I'll be singing Widmung by Robert Schumann. Du meine Seele, du mein Herz, du meine Wonne, du mein Schmerz, du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, mein Himmel, du, darein ich schwebe, du mein Grab, in das hinab ich ewig meinen Kummer gab. Du bist die Ruhe, du bist der Frieden, du bist vom Himmel mir beschieden, dass du mich liebst, macht mich mehr wert, dein Blick hat mich vor mir verklärt, du gibst mich Liebe über mich, mein guter Geist, mein besseres Ich. Du meine Seele, du mein Herz, du meine Wonne, du mein Schmerz, du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, mein Himmel, du, darein ich schwebe, mein guter Geist, mein besseres Ich.
Beautiful, Samantha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, this is such a gorgeous song. And it is such a declaration of absolute love and bliss and truly referring to your beloved as your better self,
Yeah.
your better half. Beautifully done. And I get immediately the sense that you know exactly what the text is. You've done your homework. Mhm. All right. So I would the only things that I would like to address a little bit of the leaning. I don't know if you have something to lean on.
Okay, yes, I have a chair just outside this door. Hold on.
Fantastic.
Let me get that. I have one.
Fantastic. It's not every day you can just open a door and then grab a chair and bring
Yeah,
it
that's
in.
right. Yeah, my mom, she's like, Samantha, she's using the chair, so I'm gonna leave one out here so you can use it.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, what a great mom.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great. Well, please thank your mom for me.
Okay, I will. I will.
All right. So I want you to lean on that just to feel that sense of anchor. And especially when you go, so when you've got that sense of, it's going to tug downward and you're going to repeat the vowel. So repeating the vowel, it's not just when it's a different pitch on the same vowel, it can be a sustained note. When I talk about that, in that instance, I know it might sound silly, but I think the image works. Imagine Sesame Street, the vowel of the day or the letter of the day, and you're going to have one of those great Muppets, just thousands of that letter coming out at once.
Yeah.
So whenever you repeat the vowel, it is a speeding of the air, which I've said throughout the class, but it does make our lives a lot easier.
Yeah.
Is there any way that you can face the camera
Yeah, hold on.
with leaning? Or, okay, great. If you couldn't, you could sing facing that direction, that's fine. So take just a couple of deep breaths as you're leaning, and then just feel where you're leaning and focus that to be your source, your breath. Is it lower than you usually breathe?
I think when I can't remember who it was, but when you said where it was for you, it is kind of there. Like it's, I don't know if you can see, but it's like, I don't know, like kind of like lower middle, I guess.
Yes, exactly. So is that where you normally feel that?
When I sing, yes. So that's what I focus on when I think about leading.
Fantastic. Okay. So then we're going to lean, but also with the ball of your foot, lean into the floor at the same time.
Okay.
I'll add another image for you because just now with Victoria, I was talking about the ball of the foot and lifting the toes, right? So that you're really aware of that. Now here's the image. Your lungs, just for this exercise, are in the balls of your feet. So when you inhale and you think of the balls of your feet, or at least the foot that's leaning more so into the floor, that's where you're breathing that low.
Yeah.
What's happening is that this is engaging. So eventually you step away from this, you're leading with the ball of your foot and your breath is this low and the engagement is this low. All right. So please try again from the beginning and then I want you to think of a little more head voice. You've got a really good balance, but I'd like to hear just a little more head voice because I think it's going to have more ping in the hall.
Okay.
And I imagine that you are a mezzo.
Yes.
Yeah, the color is there. For people who wonder, well, how do I know? I've always said where your voice feels most comfortable exclaiming the text. And I know that we can tell sometimes by timbre, the color of our voice. We can sometimes feel by where our passaggio is. We have a lower passaggio that's on the bottom of the staff. We've got a higher one that's at the top of the music staff. So in your case, I think it's a combination of color. It's where you feel comfortable exclaiming the text. Adding a little more head voice while you're anchored is not going to change your timbre. It's just going to give you more brilliance.
Okay.
Okay? So du meine Wort, and I don't know if you notice, it's a slight relaxation of the lower jaw, and the sensation I have is that my upper molars lift, but you have to be anchored so that this doesn't get involved.
Yeah.
You don't want the larynx to get involved. You want to lean and you want to have a sense that the upper molars are lifting as you're repeating the vowel, so that then this is happening and this is your head voice, which then balances everything out, gives you more shimmer.
Yeah.
Okay, so du meine See, and then Z, also repeat the vowel.
Okay. Do you want it with accompaniment or without?
Whatever you feel best with.
Okay. I'll just do it without for now.
Okay,
Because the accompaniment is a little bit fast for me, so I want to make sure I can really get this down.
good for you. Okay.
Du meine Seele, du meine Herz, du meine Wunde, du mein Schmerz.
Aha, what did that feel like?
That, I mean, it felt easy. Like I didn't feel like I was actually pushing to anything, but I mean, that one, like I heard it out in the room. It was just so much like clearer.
Brava. And even through this microphone and through this medium, I could really hear those overtones. And then when you have that access to all of those overtones, you have access to much more color and shading and dynamic range,
Yeah.
which as you get older and you incorporate roles, in order to show, for example, vulnerability of the character, pianissimi dynamics. So those are the most quiet dynamics, are so necessary. Messa di voce. So you go from a strong dynamic of forte to mezzo piano to pianissimo, floated, and then crescendo. Those are moments of the soul going through so much.
Yeah.
That it is our duty in our storytelling, right, as characters. So accessing more of that head voice is going to be a gateway for you. Beautiful. Okay. Du meine Welt. And I like how you keep your A's very bright.
Yeah.
So be careful to not go too, don't lose the head voice even down there. Du meine Welt. Just keep that sense that the upper molars are lifting while you lean. Want to try?
Du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, mein Himmel, du, darin ich schwebe.
Okay. So, no, brava. By keeping more of the head voice, even in the lower, you're making then those leaps that come later and then go to your passaggio at the top of the staff feel much, much easier. So let's try something. Du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, meine Try to modify so that it's, because your diction is perfect, try to modify it so that you're singing in Himmel, but thinking Okay? Du meine Welt, in der ich you're singing but thinking Himmel. That's a large leap. So I want you to think of that tray that I've been talking about in the master class. That tray is in front of you for the lower pitch, for the F that's at the bottom of the staff. So, meine Welt, in der ich lebe, meine Himmel, du. And notice that it's almost as if I'm giving you a little bit of the profile, as though my top teeth are slightly in front of the bottom.
Yeah.
For the do, and then so you see that it's almost as if the lower jaw kind of relaxes back a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's what will give you that
Yeah.
those overtones. So try that as you're leaning. So du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, meine I'm exaggerating, but in front of you, repeat the of the ein. Yeah. Don't anticipate the end of that diphthong. Repeat the vowel and put those consonants on the pitch because you're at the top of the staff. All right, so du meine Welt,
you mind if I go a little bit slower, just so I can really?
You absolutely go ahead.
Great. Du meine Welt in der Gebe, mein Himmel, du erreichst mich.
Beautiful. How did that feel?
Much better. It felt even that doing that helped me connect my breath more as well. Like it didn't, because the first time I sang it, it felt just the tiniest bit breathy, but that time it felt like I really was using my air to its full capacity.
Fantastic. And that's a perfect example of that synchronicity of everything coming together. So it should feel easy. It's actually, sometimes there's this misconception that if it feels too easy, we mustn't be doing it right.
Yeah.
But it's actually, I mean, look at these athletes. We just had the Olympics, right? So I'm sure most of us watched at least some of it on TV. And they've got that synchronicity of everything coming together at the same time. And that's what allows them to execute to the best of their abilities. And
Yeah.
we are not so different from that. Okay. Putting the consonant on the pitch was also fantastic. And something else that happened, I don't know if everybody else felt it. You blocked out the overtones were so much brighter that it blocked out the microphone for just a few seconds.
Oh no, okay. I mean,
Oh no, but it's not an oh
okay.
no. That means that you're doing it right because it's
Okay.
too much. You
Yeah.
know, it's like the microphone is saying, wait a minute, what's going on? That's a
Yeah.
very good sign. Okay, let me just see how much time we've got. Or I know that I'll get a heads up. We haven't gotten a heads up yet, which is great. Definitely that tray in front of you as the line is going down so that you can keep those overtones. The upper molars are lifting as you're leaning. Do you want to just go from or
Yeah.
before? Yeah, okay.
O du mein Grab, in das hinab ich ewig meinen Kummer gab.
Beautiful. Definitely much more head voice in there.
Yeah, I felt that too, and I had like my hand out.
Great, great, great. Do you want to go to this section, which is so comfortable for you? And the challenge is going to be to keep that awareness of the upper molars
Yes, of
lifting,
course. Yeah.
which another thing to keep in mind, when the upper molars are lifting and you're leaning and you're feeling that connection underneath the floor, it's as if you've got this glorious rubber band that is doing this. And then that upper, so you're connected. And then the upper part of that rubber band is all of these overtones. And then the lower part of the rubber band is that anchor and that goes underneath the floor. So it is a tremendous feeling when that's happening. That's the athletic part, the physical part of what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so do.
Bist die Ruhe, du bist der Frieden.
How did that feel?
It felt really good. It felt like even though it was really low, it was still like present and wasn't getting kind of muddled by anything.
Yeah. No, and even the first time you sang it, it was very present. It's just keeping that sense of air so that you feel that air flow
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing. And it's not coming so much from here, which can be the comfort zone for the mezzo.
Yeah.
To just kind of give it more from here and from here. But if you've got this going on, it's going to carry. It's going to have a lot more presence. Do you want to continue?
Sure.
And then, du bist von Himmel.
Du bist vom Himmel mir beschieden.
I'm going to stop you there for a second. Mir. Repeat the vowel. Don't think so much of the ornament. Just repeat and then pay attention to what that feels like. So let's go back from du bist von Himmel. And then repeat the E.
Du bist vom Himmel mir beschieden.
Yeah?
That felt better.
Good. And then let's continue. Dass du mich liebst.
Dass du mich liebst, macht mich mehr wert. Dein Blick hat mich vor mir verklärt.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. Again, when you've got more than one note with the same vowel, just repeat the vowel. And it's going to make it feel as almost as if you're intoning on one pitch for the listener and also for you. All right. So macht mich. See. Macht mich mir wert. The tre wert. And just repeat the vowel. You see how there's hardly any shift at all. And
Yeah.
that's because you're just repeating the vowel,
Okay, so from macht.
if you don't mind.
Macht mich mir wert, dein Blick hat mich vor mir verklärt.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what.
Going? Keep going, keep going.
Du hebst mich über dich, mein guter Geist, mein besseres Ich.
How's that feeling?
A lot better. I'm definitely thinking about keeping my head voice. I never thought about that, like keeping my head voice in my middle voice, I guess. I mean, because usually what I've been working on is like not carrying my middle voice up to my higher notes. But now I used to sing this piece in the higher key, like the soprano key, and I actually recently brought it down to this key. And so it's interesting how like taking the head voice in the higher key, but then also having that in this lower key. So it's very interesting.
So what's great and what you're tapping into now is a different perspective and aiming ultimately for the same thing. Because what you're saying is that you didn't want to necessarily take too much of the bottom heft into the higher notes. And what we're doing now, I'm just repeating, mirroring what you said. So you're taking the head voice and bringing it to your middle voice and to your lower. It's two different ways of doing the same thing, and also a very intelligent way of playing with your voice, because it is your mistress, it is within you, but she has a mind of her own, and she is her own entity. So this is a lifelong relationship, and your voice will be your best companion and your most loyal companion. And I say that to all singers because it's quite a blessing to carry our treasured instrument inside, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get to know her, she has to get to know you, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so now let's finish this off and trying to implement the things that we've been talking about. So then we go back to the A section. Du meine Seele, head voice.
Meine Seele, du mein Herz, du meine Wonne, du mein Schmerz, du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, mein Himmel, du, darein ich schwebe, mein guter Geist, meine besseres Ich.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I would add a little bit more open A on besseres. Meine and imagine if you have your hand here on your lower, on your chin, that it doesn't want to come out.
Yeah.
So that it stays relaxed.
Hold on one moment. My computer is about to die and I don't want it. I don't want it to die on us. Let me just plug it in very quickly.
Yeah. Definitely.
Technology.
Well, thank goodness for it. You know, I know that so many of us are, of course, we prefer to meet in person and to work in person, but at least, right, we've got this.
Of course.
And batteries and outlets. Okay.
You're good now.
Try this, Samantha. Meine because staccato means you're always engaged. Meine and then repeat the vowel thousands of those letters of the day. You blew out the mic.
Yeah, I figured
No,
it. That
but
was much better than the other
you
ones.
see, and that when you know when you feel it. And again, my motto, trust the sensation, not what you hear when you're singing. So when you feel that buzzing and you feel that airflow and it blows out the mic, you know you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have any questions for me?
No, I think you've given me a lot to think about, so I'll just have to go and implement it.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. Thank you for your beautiful singing and for bringing this gorgeous piece. I sang it at my cousin's wedding many, many, many
Oh,
years
that's
ago, and
amazing.
I was bawling.
Oh, I'm sure. It's such an emotional piece.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Samantha.
Thank you for all your help. This was great.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And I want to thank everyone that has joined us, that has sung so beautifully. We have had Victoria, Jacquie, Nicholas, Samantha, and I'm just thrilled and grateful that you've all done such beautiful work and grateful that you want to bring your beautiful music to the world. We all need it. So I believe we have time for some questions, yeah? You're muted, Kathleen. There you go.
Just jumping the gun there a little bit. Thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom with us. I'm going to invite the rest of our students to turn their cameras on. Here they all come. There you are. Hi, everybody. And we have just a couple of minutes for just a quick Q&A session. Does anybody have any questions for Ana Maria? And I'd like to start with somebody who did not perform today because they have had a lot of time on screen. Does anybody who was not singing today have any questions? Lindsay, go ahead.
Hello, nice to meet you. I had a question about like technique. Sometimes breathing feels really heavy and kind of like tense sometimes, and it's hard to like connect it without making like everything tense in my throat. Yeah.
Okay, that's a great question. Sometimes that might mean that you're allowing a lot of things to collapse and go down with the aim of making room. So one of the exercises that I think is a great go-to is panting like a puppy would pant.
Okay.
So if you humor me, and I know it might look silly or feel silly, but a puppy would have its tongue out if it's been running around. So it would be like, now, if you all want to try, you'll see what I'm talking about. So you're going to feel the panting down here. Now notice the first thing I do is inhale, a big inhale. And then you can go, ah, 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 after the panting, because the panting is going to open everything up without any tension. And also think of that inner smile. Imagine that your upper molars are lifting. Or if you want to do a lower pitch and the sound is going to be coming through your upper molars. Now,
Do I try?
do you want to try that? Do you want to try the panting?
Sure.
I mean, all of us, we can all pant, and then Lindsay, make some sound at whatever pitch you want right after the pant.
Okay.
Okay, how did that feel?
I don't feel like I connected to my air.
Okay, do you have a
yeah.
chair with a high back?
Oh yeah.
Hi. Okay, let's do a little lean. So if you can lean.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, and if everybody wants to try this, if you've got chairs, feel free to do so. So you're leaning, and then where you're leaning is where you're focusing your inhale. Ah, and then just sigh, coming from there. Ah, and imagine also your eyes, because when you were making the sound after the pant, I felt it was quite back and low. So let's choose another vowel, A. A. Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Hey. With an H.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
A little softer, not too much of a hard H, and you can do a little sigh. Hey.
Hey.
All right. Did that feel different?
Yeah, I felt like it connected. Like
You
with
were able to
my
feel
breath.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
try leaning again. Hey. And as if it's coming. Hey.
Hey. Yeah.
Right. Did that feel better?
Mhm.
Okay. So I think that you might be making it a little heavy. The ah vowel, by the way, always wants to go back. It spots a couple of down pillows and it says, I want to take a nap. So,
Mm.
The A, the ah tends to be a little lazy. So we want to bring that a little bit forward. So the A might be a good go-to and really be conscientious of your upper jaw. Visualize that it is lifting while you lean. If you don't
Okay.
lean, it's going to feel like your larynx is coming up. So you want to feel that your upper molars are lifting as you
Okay.
take a deep breath. Ah, I think what happens is you need to think a little higher in addition to leaning.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Elena, did I see? Yeah, go ahead. We cannot hear you, Elena.
No, I think you're muted now. Press the unmute.
Maybe it's your input volume.
Okay, while Elena is working on her sound situation, does anybody else have a question?
And also, sorry, Elena, maybe you can type your question if it turns out that you can't say it. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question. It's just I just want to figure out like when you realized like music was truly right for you. Like when did you feel like this is what I want to do as a job, this is what I want to do as a profession, and like take it forward?
Thank you, Nicholas. So I've always loved music, but I didn't always know that it would be my thing. I was kind of shy, and my mother, in her day, was an opera singer, and I found it so boring. I was listening to Fleetwood Mac, I was listening to rap when it first came out, and I was just so into other things. And then I thought I would go into musical theater. That was the first time when I said, I think I want to pursue this. And I was 15 when I came to that realization. That was through the high school that I was attending, and they did the musical Oklahoma, and they cast me as Lori. And that was a big responsibility, but I felt, even though I was so nervous, it was almost an out of body experience going out there. I think because I was so nervous at that age. And then I realized, wait a minute, I feel more alive doing this than anything else. And I also felt more connected to the world around me and to myself. I felt a sense of purpose. I know those are deep things to start realizing at that age, but I thought that I could possibly do that better than anything else that I could do. And it's what really motivated me. If I thought of doing something else, it didn't really excite me like music did. And then I auditioned for the Boston Conservatory for the college years, got in as a musical theater major. And then my teacher at the time said, I'm sorry, but the direction that musical theater is going in now, rock, is not what your voice does. I don't think you'll be able to get cast a lot. You should think about classical music. And then I bawled my eyes out for a week. And then I got my act together and realized, wait a minute, this really is my calling. And it's such a deep art form. I began to fall in love with it at the time. So I was 18. I began to discover through my own eyes and realize all of the incredible subtleties. And let's just start with the reality that unless we're outdoors, we're not mic'd as opera singers, as classical musicians. And it's a beautiful reminder of what the human being can do without any added stuff. Without, I know we're grateful for technology and we need it in our lives, but I would say the athlete, the dancer, the instrumentalist, the singer, we can do so many incredible things with our bodies, but especially the athlete, the dancer, the singer, because we're not doing anything with anything else. It's just us. And it's our superhero power. So yeah, I was 15 when I had that aha moment. Probably a little younger than you guys are now, unless some of you are around that age. No? You're about 15?
Oh, me? I'm 17 right now.
Okay, are there any of you in the group that are 15, 16? A little bit older. But you know, we have Mr. Colin Yerim. Is
Yeah,
that you? You're
I'm
15,
16.
16? Oh, wow, wow. But you got, I mean, you're all more like, you're the same generation. It's incredible to have this sense of purpose so clear in your minds and in your hearts already. Don't you think it gives you, especially nowadays, with so many things happening in the world and so many distractions, don't you think it gives you a clear sense of direction? You know, even if you find that you fall in love with other interests in your lives, I think that this gives you a tremendous sense of direction, which will only serve you, truly. Any other question?
Do we want to try Elena one more time?
I'm on my phone now. Does it work?
Yeah.
Yay. Hello. Thank you so much again for being here. It was really cool to watch. My name's Elena, and one question I had for you was, what advice do you have for seniors right now? We're like kind of starting our pre-screening and eventually audition process for college.
Great question. So with advice, are you talking about how I would think about the package that you're presenting, that you're preparing? I imagine these are online when you're submitting these, correct?
Yeah, we have most places have pre-screenings right now, and then in January, February, most of them also have live auditions. Different from last year, but
Great, yeah, because I think everything last year was online.
all online, yeah.
The first thing I would say is make sure that the pieces you present, are you presenting more than one? 2 or 3 maybe? Elena, can you give me a thumbs up, like 2 or 3 pieces, right? It's not just one, right? Okay. They need to be, I know this sounds like a no-brainer, but believe me, they need to be equally polished. You would be surprised how many times you will hear a singer that faculty or the panel of judges will really love in their first piece. And then they hear the second or the third and they go, well, that wasn't as polished or that wasn't as together. What's going on? And if there are very few slots available and a large number, they would probably say, let's listen again, but then it becomes like splitting hairs, and that might not favor you. I know that, and I bring this up a lot because I'm speaking from experience. I was doing a competition in my 20s, and all of the singers that day were so extraordinary that my second aria was not as polished. It was okay, but it wasn't as polished as my first, and that disqualified me. And the judges gave me feedback. They were so supportive, really great and lovely. And they said, oh, we see a great career for you, et cetera, et cetera. However, on this day, because this wasn't as polished as the other stuff, then we couldn't move you forward. So that's why I urge you all to have that equally ironed out. Make sure that your diction also is as clean as it can be, okay? Be kind to yourselves. Choose pieces that you love and that your teacher also suggests are good for you, that represent you well. And also choose pieces that are in line with one another. So when I started to do competitions, I was more of a lyric coloratura, and I had 4 selections that were lyric coloratura repertoire. So for example, it were Caro Nome from Rigoletto Gilda, right? Je veux vivre, Juliet's Waltz, Pamina, Ach ich fühl's, and Baby Doe, always through the changing. It was the only English that I felt comfortable with. And then I added Come Scoglio, Fior di Ligi from Così fan tutte. And one of my coaches at school said, one of these things is not like the other. And he said, they're probably going to disqualify you for that because Come Scoglio is in a different fach almost than the others. So you will either go all Come Scoglio-ish or all coloratura-ish. So then I had to replace it with something I had in my repertoire already. So I took out Come Scoglio and put Musetta's Waltz instead. So then everything was even. So I also encourage that. Sing, I know you're doing more song repertoire. Same thing applies. Choose things that are in line with each other. I think that's going to serve you very well. And also sing on the lighter, easier side of what you can do. Don't choose things that are really, really more a sign of where your voice might be in a few years. Choose what's easy now because then you'll feel more comfortable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that is all the time we have for questions today. So let's all say thank you to Ms. Ana Maria Martinez and goodbye to our live stream audience as we go back into our private Zoom room. So everybody say thank you. Oh, and I want to give a big shout out to our accompanist for today, Ms. Mary Box. Turned around all these pieces in like 24 hours after learning that we had to move this to online.
Fabulous. Thank you, Mary. I love Mary. I didn't know that it was her. Oh, that
I know, I wish we could have all been together in the same room, but it was her music guiding us through today's masterclass.
And her spirit. She's amazing. I want to congratulate all of you. Keep on doing what you're doing. Follow your dreams with a lot of hard work and mental determination. Okay? That is so important. And always surround yourself with good peeps, family and friends that get you and will support you and encourage you. Like Samantha's mom that got the chair. Thank you all. Thank you. Take care. Good luck.
Okay, we are off the live stream. Thank you so much, Ana Maria. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We so enjoyed having you with us.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Hi, everyone. Wonderful job. Kathleen, it still says it's recording up in my upper left-hand corner.
It's recording, but we're not live. But
Okay.
I can stop the recording too.
Okay, I was like, oh no, are we all coming in on live stream? I am so sorry I wasn't here at the beginning of the class, you guys.